Hello, welcome to week 10 of 2022. Long time no see for me. It is Wednesday, March 9th. I filmed a couple book tag and I filmed a couple other videos, but I haven't done any of my vlog clips. So I'm going to get you caught up on everything that has happened since this weekend. So we'll start with books first. I have read 3 books. I did a little bit more studying in the tarot book that I've kind of been working on. And I'm like 28-ish, I think, percent. And I'm about 3/4 of the way through the major arcana on that one. And then I picked up, let me just grab my book so I know. I didn't really know what I wanted to read. And I've been kind of in a contemporary mood, but I didn't want to read too much contemporary because there's some contemporary books that are coming out soon. So I want to try to not kill myself on contemporary before they come out, but I'm still super excited for them. So I was like, I'm just going to go with contemporary anyway, and we'll deal with it. So I picked up The Opposite of You. This is by Rachel Higginson. This is This is book 1 in her Opposites Attract series. I first heard about this because the Smart Women Read Romance podcast did an episode on this book, and I added it to my TBR, and I really liked it. So what it is we have Vera and Killian, and this is a single POV, and it's Vera's POV. Hi, Mama started talking, huh? And I think I gave it 5 stars. Let me pull up my spreadsheet here. But so yeah, I really liked it. So what happens is Vera, they're both chefs, and Killian is like a super award-winning chef. He is the executive chef at a fine dining restaurant called Leela, I think is how you say it. And Vera is a chef as well. However, when she was still in culinary school, or shortly after she started dating a guest, like chef instructor, I guess is what he would be, but he's also a chef of his own, and he is kind of well known for their area. And it ends up being an abusive relationship. So she is finally able to kind of escape him. And by doing so, she goes to Europe for like a year and travels around and kind of works under the table to get money to kind of go to the next spot. And then she gets, I don't know if it's an email or a phone call, but somehow her father gets in touch with her and lets her know that he's been diagnosed with cancer. So she returns home, and she is worried because her ex-boyfriend is a famous chef and well known, and she's afraid that he has been trying to like blackball her in the industry. So she's like, I'm probably not going to be able to get a job. So she decides to open up a food truck called Foodie, and her brother owns a bicycle shop, and so he lets her park for free in his area, and they get all the proper permits and whatever's needed for it. Hi. And it's like across the street from this fine dining restaurant, and it's their romance, and it's super cute. Killian is just like, he's like the bearded, tattooed chef, and I loved him. It was really good. It was really good, and I did give it 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I do have to say, I kind of want to kill it. Like, I don't know. I feel like the single POV is fine, and it kind of led to the mysterious nature of Killian. But I do wish, even if it was just like a 80-20 percentage on POV. I do wish that we had a little bit of Killian's POV, because there were times where it was like I really wanted to know what he was saying and what was going on his end. But he was just, I mean, from get-go, he was into Vera, and he was helping Vera, and he was like having his sous chefs and waiters and everybody like sneak over and bring him her food, and then he got inspired by some like her meatball sauce, and then it was really good. I really, really liked it. That didn't really tell you much about it, but it is two chefs. We do kind of see her ex-boyfriend pop in, and Killian kind of helps her with that, and then just dealing with her father and just kind of reconnecting and reopening up to her family and her best friend Molly. And speaking of Molly, then I picked up book 2, and book 2 is The Difference Between Us. But I should say I used book 2, or I used The Opposite of You for foodie romance for Love Has Sprung. And then it also worked for my Yahtzee challenge, which was a book that has over 5,000 reviews. So that's done for the month, so I don't have to worry about that. So, okay, and then back to book 2. So book 2 is The Difference Between Us, and this is with Molly and Ezra. And Ezra is Killian's foster brother, and also the owner of 3 restaurants. And Molly is Vera's best friend. She is an artist, but her family situation has kind of made her think that if she's not like actively working and having like a real job, then that's not actually like working and becoming an adult and having a satisfying life kind of a thing. So she treats her painting as a hobby. But she also doesn't want it to become work, but she is surprised that she can make money off of it later on in the book. But anyway, she's a painter, but then she also does like graphic design. So she works in an advertising firm. And I gave this one 4.5 stars. Now, the reason for that is the situation with Molly and her work. I feel like, because Ezra's been through some things. It's kind of an ongoing joke. Ezra owns 4 restaurants. One of them is split with his ex-wife. And then the other 3 restaurants are named after ex-girlfriends of his. And they all have like different vibes. And so like they're kind of competing with each other, but not really. And so there's like conflict of Ezra, and he's really, really interested in Molly, but he also doesn't open up very much because he has been hurt so much in the past, and people have used him for his money or his like restauranteering clout and things like that. So he doesn't open up to people, but he wants to be in a relationship so bad that even if a relationship is bad and he's being used, he tends to stay in them for like a year or more. And him and Molly kind of finally start getting paired together because we see in the first book, he asks her like her thoughts on his website, and then they get in like a little argument. And so that's kind of how they retouch base here, is they're all kind of planning Vera and Killian's engagement party. So then they're kind of forced to be together more, and it goes from there. And I really, really liked it as well. So why I gave it 4.5 stars is I feel like there was already a lot going on between Ezra and Molly to kind of figure out their differences. And they're one of those people that like, they'll bicker and they'll argue, but like that's the dynamic of their relationship, is that they're pushing each other constantly, and it works for them. I could not handle being in a relationship like that. I am so non-confrontational. I just can't. But it works for them and they like it, and it gets them all hot and bothered when they do it. So, okay, good for them. But she is being sexually harassed, And it's just lewd stares and calling her nicknames like babes and sweets and sweet cheeks and different things like that. And it's her CEO's son. And he chooses her to be on one of his teams for a huge account. And she's also getting kind of stifled with her job as well, because she is like mainly focuses on the social media aspects of advertising, and all of the people that she works with are like, she's like the youngest person in her office, so all of them are focusing on the older advertising things. And when she tries to explain things about social media, they're all like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. So she just kind of gets like, everybody treats her like she doesn't know what she's talking about. And she's just like, no, you have to pay attention to this. She's like, 80% of clicks come from a smartphone, not a desktop computer anymore. But anyway, so, and then he starts to like slight touches and slight glances. And then he actually does come on to her, and it just gets worse. What I feel like her having that situation and kind of pushing herself to stand up to her boss is fine. What I did not like is that none of the other women in the office, except for the one person that was her friend, really was a confidant for her or to help protect her from the situation, even if they also didn't feel comfortable speaking up against the CEO's son. They weren't really there to help kind of protect each other. And when she went to the friggin' HR manager 3 times, she was told, oh, you're exaggerating. And the HR manager is a woman. And I get that might have happened back in the day, and that's a huge whole thing, and that's like the Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like there's too much already going on. I wish that it was just, I don't know. And then we got his, I don't know, I wanted blood. And we did get his blood kind of in like the final chapter, which was, or maybe it was even in the epilogue, where it was just a little bit about how she went back after the final incident. Molly went back with Ezra and a lawyer, and then it came out that these other women who would work there came forward with their testimonies, and it was like this huge whole thing, and it became like all these other women were being harassed by this dude. And it's like, why didn't you stick up for each other? At the very least, not allow any one of you to be in a room alone with him. I would have at least liked that to happen. If we had to have this whole sexual harassment thing, I just would have liked there to be a way for Molly to be more protected. Because even when she did start finally clapping back at this dude, he didn't care, or he just played stupid and like, oh, I didn't mean to, it was just a graze, I didn't mean to, you're the one that moved, kind of a stuff. But anyway, that was it. So 4.5 stars, because it bothered me enough that I just couldn't get over it. And then I picked up the third book in the series, and the third book in the series is Wyatt and Kaya. So we're back to the Lilo? Starts with an L. Restaurant, and Wyatt was Killian's sous chef, like his first sous chef, and Kaya was his second sous chef. And then at the end of book 1, Killian and Vera leave or decide to start their own restaurant together called Salt. So now Wyatt is the executive chef at this L restaurant, and it's between him and Kaya is now his sous chef, and they're always like bickering and fighting. And it was really good. I gave this one 5 stars. I mean, Kaya has been through a lot, and it may not seem like much, or compared to like Wyatt's story and the other people's stories, but she still has been through a lot. And Wyatt is also another foster brother of Killian and Ezra. But so Kaya's big thing is she was raised in a small town. Her parents were born and raised and live in this small town. Her younger sisters are still in this small town. And she just doesn't want, she knew she wanted to be a chef, and she wanted to be like a fine dining chef. She didn't want to work at the local diner, so she needed to go to the big city. She does not belong in the small town. The kind of life that happens in a small town, just the slow down, gossipy, everybody knows each other. That's not what she wants for her life. And so she knows she can't just live there. She's gonna not be happy with herself and not be happy at all. And her parents very much push her to marry her high school sweetheart and come home and all this stuff. And her mom's kind of a bee. But they do make up in the end. But I liked that Wyatt stood up for her, and Wyatt has had a crush on her since the minute he met her. But she was dating and then he was dating, so the timing never really was right. But he was just like, it's always been you. It's always been you. And it was 5 stars. It was great. I mean, all of the, like, every time they would, like, make out, she'd be like, I don't want to do this again. We shouldn't do this. And she's secretly training with Vera because Ezra and Molly go on vacation. And it's like the first time Ezra goes on vacation because he's such a workaholic. And so Killian and Vera kind of help run his restaurants while he's gone. And there's 2 other restaurants besides the L one. It starts with an L. S is Sarita, I think. And then there's Bianca. And they both don't have an executive chef right now because he keeps losing chefs. And Kaya wants the Sarita one because she just is like, this is my restaurant, our souls match, our souls fit, she's meant to be mine, kind of a thing. And so Vera doesn't want to cover for that restaurant anymore. So she helps, like, secretly train and secretly, like, not oversee, but, like, gives tips to Kaya to taking over the S restaurant. And when Ezra comes back, then she applies to be the executive chef and she gets it. But she's thinking, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm planning on leaving L, and I don't want Wyatt to know yet until it's been firmed out. So she's super nervous about telling him, and she doesn't want, the dating to ruin the fact that they're both still working in the same kitchen right now, and she's his sous chef, and so it's, like, not good for the other chefs to see him making out all the time. And I don't know, it's just tension. But Wyatt the entire time is just like, it's you. It's only you. It's you. And then when he does find out that she's working for this other, like, she's trying to get this other restaurant, he's just like, okay, yeah, I kind of figured it. I could tell this isn't you're a good chef and you do well here, but this isn't your restaurant, and I know you want to be an executive chef, and this isn't the restaurant for you that fits your kind of vibe and what you would enjoy doing. And so he's completely understanding. It's not a big deal, and it's just, I loved it. Now, these do have, some of them are steamier than others, and it's not closed door, but it's definitely kind of ish glossed over. I feel like the third one, The Problem with Him, I don't even remember if I said that, but it's been up here this entire time. That one is a little steamier because we get a couple of other intimate scenes that are a little more descriptive, I guess is how I would say it. So, but the tension is there in all of them, between them. So I wouldn't say that they're not steamy, but they're not like full frontal, we'll call it. It's like, I don't know, skimpy lingerie or something like that. I don't know. I need to work on my analogies, but so that was the third book I've read, and I finished that last night. And I don't know if I said this. So book 2, The Difference Between Us, I used for slow burn prompts for Love is Sprung, and The Problem with Him I used for the prompt Pink on Cover. So I finished 4 books in the first bingo board for Love Has Sprung. And it's already the 9th and I've only read 4 books. So my reading hasn't quite picked up quite yet this month, but it's starting to with this. Tonight I'm going to start the 4th book. The 4th book is called Her. Something about her. The something her. Yeah, the something about her. And this one is, I kind of looked at the blurb. I just kind of glanced at it to see who it was about. And it's Dylan, who is Ezra's little sister, and Vera's older brother who owns the bicycle shop. I don't remember his name. Van, I think. It starts with a V. I think it's Van. But yeah, so I'm going to start that tonight. I wasn't going to start anything tonight because Rewriting the Stars drops at like midnight. And that's book 6 in the Bailey Brothers series by Claire Kingsley. It's technically out tomorrow, but I know for a lot of people it'll show up at like midnight on their Kindles. So I'll just have to wait to read it till tomorrow or this weekend, but I will be getting to that soon. But since my vlogs are it's Wednesday. Okay, yeah, it'll probably end up being in this vlog. In my brain, I thought it was Thursday, and I was like, my vlog ends tomorrow. But it doesn't. We still have 2 days. But we'll see. And then there's only 4 books in the Opposites Attract series, so this will finish that series. But I'm definitely intrigued to see what else Rachel Higginson has written. These are super fun, super cute. I'm really enjoying my time with them. And I think that's it for that. So I will be starting something about her shortly after I'm done recording. I'll get ready and I'll head to bed here. And probably start it. Although I am kind of tired, so I might just hit the hay. But anyway, so we have to catch up on calendar as well. Now, I've been thinking, I don't know. I was thinking about pulling the calendar out and doing the calendar as a separate video and then trying to keep my books on their own thing. But I don't know. I feel like the calendar doesn't take that much time except every once in a while, like when we were picking characters and stuff. So I'm just going to try to quickly go through it and not talk a lot. I say this 20 minutes in, but we talked about 3 books, so that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so last time I did my calendar was last Friday. And we were back at like the festivities kind of a thing at the tournament, and we walked by the minstrels. So from this weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, these are the people that gave us the quest in the first place to go to that manor and find the evidence that the tournament was being rigged. So you meet back at the pub to find the gentleman that set you on this mission. You may have a few words with them before collecting on the reward they owe you. So check your mission and results to see what they have for you. Cool. Okay, so if your mission is prove the tournament is rigged and your result is we are evidence found. Wow, we are impressed. Thank you for exposing this crime. We will take this evidence to the authorities. Once Lord Whitmore is removed from office, the honor of the Tournament of Lords will once again be restored. Here is your gold. You've earned it. So add 10 gold to your inventory. Sweet. And that's all there. So we will move on to Mondays. So it looks like an archery competition. Okay, the first event of the tournament is archery. It is rather laid back and less of a spectacle since so many have signed up, and this task is meant to weed out most of the competition. To qualify for the next round, you have to meet some minimum criteria. You see many people walk away disappointed. Good luck. So take aim and let the arrows loose. Roll a d20 plus dexterity 3 times. Cool. And dex is our good one. So we will do so. Get my character sheet. Oh my gosh. There is cat hair all over this. Alright, so our dexterity is a +4. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where to put these. Okay. So d20 +3. Okay. And then I just kind of looked at the results of each roll. Okay. So I'm going to I thought I had a calendar over there, but we'll just handwrite it here. Okay, so we got our first roll is a 13, so that is a 17. Okay. And a 19, so that is a 23. And a 10, so that is a 14. Okay. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are at 54 points. So the result is 40 or more. We're good. Congratulations, your archery skills qualify you to move on to the next round of the tournament. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So there's that. So now we will do yesterday, Tuesdays. Ooh. Alrighty. Looks like we're in the next step. Looks like we'll be doing some sort of bout. Okay, the next event you must compete in to qualify for the finals in the Tournament of Lords is armed combat. Many back down due to the risk of injury or death. You need only one victory to move on. You step into the ring to face your opponent. She has a stern look of determination behind her face guard. She will not go easy on you or give up. Engage in combat, see special instructions. Okay. So combat for today will operate a bit differently in the following ways. You will continue to repeat the combat round until you have dealt enough damage to defeat your opponent. You will roll to determine your opponent's attack against you for each round. You will roll to determine your opponent's damage against you for each round. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll just take it step by step here because that was a lot at once. Okay. So we need to attack. Our attack is a +4. Okay. That is a 12. So that is a 16. So we hit the enemy. So until we have dealt enough damage. So we'll have to keep track of our damage. Okay, so we will roll our damage roll, and we are a D10. D10, D10, D10. Okay. And that is a 10. Woohoo. So it looks like we have to get 15 total damage on her. So I will just make a note. We are at 10 damage. Sweet. Okay, if your opponent is not defeated, she swings to land a blow with her sword. Okay, so if your defense is a d20 or less, okay, so that is a 5 or less. That's a 5. No, we're above 5. Okay, she doesn't hit us because our defense is a 13. Okay. If your defense is more, we take no damage. Okay, so now it is our turn again. So you're a +4. That is a 15. So we are at a 19. So that does hit. So we'll roll another d10. And that is a 1. Okay, so we're at 11. Boo. Okay, so then here's what our defense needs to be. And this is a 11, and we are at a 13, so we are okay. We don't take damage, so hopefully this will be the last attack. Okay, and this is a 14, so 18. We'll roll our d10 again. 4. Ha! 15 on the dot. Sweet. Okay. So she's defeated. Sweet. Alrighty. So that's all we do. Nothing happens. We've just finally defeated her. It took 3 rounds, but it doesn't say anything special for how many rounds it does. So we will move on to today's. We're jousting. Look at the horsey. Okay. The next event of the qualifying rounds of the tournament garners many more spectators. Everyone enjoys a good jousting competition. Many who win this day but go no further often become quite famous and recognized in their hometowns. The skill to joust is perceived as a high honor in these lands. So number 1, lance your enemy to knock them off their horse. Roll a d20 plus strength, remind your athlete, which we do have. And then number 2, avoid getting hit and stay on your horse. Roll a d20 plus dexterity, reminder animal tamer, which we also have. And then number 3, endure many rounds of the joust. Roll a d20 plus constitution, reminder athlete. So athlete again, sweet. Okay, so this one might take a little bit longer, but we will do it. So number 1, a d20 plus strength, and athlete gives us a +2. And our strength is a +1. So we have, an 18. Nice. So that is a 19. Okay, 15 or more. You strike your opponent with a direct hit in the chest. They fly off their horse. You have won a round. The crowd erupts in applause and chants your name. Cool. Okay. I guess we are doing every single one, even though we won the first one, because it doesn't say like to move on or anything like that. So number 2, I just rolled. I rolled a 16. What am I applying? Dexterity plus animal tamer. So that's animal tamer. So that gives us a 20, and animal tamer is a +2. So we are at a 22. Okay, so you are able to easily block your opponent's lance with your shield. Your horse rides strong and never wavers. Aww. Okay. And then number 3, endure many rounds of the joust. So we get a +2 from athlete, and then our constitution, which is a 0. So we just have a +2. Let us see. That is a 16. Nice. We are rolling well today. And our constitution is 0, but we get the +2. So 18. Sweet. For each round, you ride with elegance and pride. You pace yourself and take proper breaks so as to never wear out. Sweet. Congratulations on a successful jousting competition. The scores are calculated amongst all the participants. You have made it into the final qualifying round of the Tournament of Lords. Yay! Cool. Cool. So tomorrow, I'm guessing, will be the final round. That's so fun. I'm glad we're doing the tournament stuff now. Now, why was I not doing this? All right. Anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering. We're already at like half an hour here. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for another half hour. But I'm going to wrap up, put everything away, and I'm going to get in bed. And I'm going to start reading the Something About Her. And I will update you, hopefully, once I've made progress. If not, it'll be when I finished it. But anyway, I'll see you soon. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, March 10th. It's about 9:30 at night. Is it Friday yet? We are almost to the end of the week. We had another snowstorm the other day. And so today it's been super cold. It didn't get over 20 degrees. It's like 12 degrees when I got home. It was 6 degrees when I woke up this morning. I'm just over this cold. And we were in the 60s last week. And we're supposed to be back in the 60s next week. I just can't handle these drastic weather turnarounds. It's just pick a season, Colorado. Pick a season. But anyway, I'm tired. But I figured I should probably do an update. So let's do the calendar first, and then we'll talk about book stuff. So yesterday was the jousting tournament, and we did really good. So let's see what today is. Ooh. It looks like some sort of like obstacle coursey kind of thing. Okay. The final qualifying round, the Magic Challenge. Many come to spectate this event. Kids enjoy the chance to see rare magic, and adults gauge your chances in the tournament to aid their gambling stakes. You stand on the field ready to blast targets with fireballs, transform animals, levitate objects, and anything else the tasks call for. So number 1, choose the right spells for the task. Roll a d20 plus intellect, reminder student. Number 2, channel arcane energy into each spell. Roll a d20 plus wisdom. Reminder arcane adept. And number 3, put on a good show for the crowd. Roll a d20 plus charisma. And those 3 are my worst 3 stats. We are not magic users, so this probably isn't going to be good. Oh boy. Guys, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. Okay. All right, let's do this. All right, number 1. Choose the right spells for the task. So intellect, we are not a student. So we are at a -1. And that's a 6. So 5. Okay. Oh.
For sure. Like he's climbing up. Stick gets into.
My TV just started playing. Okay, if the result is 7 or less, perhaps it was your nervousness, but instead of transforming the chicken, you launched a fireball at it. At such a close range, the fire singed your clothes and burned you. Reduce your health by 2. Okay, I'm back. I had my post-game show paused, and it's recording, but I just had it paused because I watch it live, and it got to the point where it like wasn't gonna be able to be paused anymore, so it just started playing, and I couldn't pause it because it was like, no. So I just watched the coach's interview real quick. So hopefully we'll stay caught up and it won't start playing on me again, but if not, I'll have to stop and come back. But anyway, so we took 2 damage because we threw a fireball at a chicken. So let's do the next part. Channel the arcane energy into each spell. Roll a d20 plus wisdom. Wisdom is a +1, so that's not bad, not bad. Let's see. Except when you roll a 3. It's a 4. Guys, well, this isn't. Okay. With too much energy, your spell backfired. The uncontrolled arcane energy is released back onto you. Reduce your health by 2. Great. Great. I feel like we're just a laughing stock. All right, last one. Put on a good show for the crowd. D20 plus charisma. This is our worst stat, so we are at a -2. Let's see. I almost said something. Like, I was going to make a joke. Oh, that'd be funny if we went negative. That's a 1. So we are in a -1. Because 0 does count. This is not good. You get the task done. Not much of an enjoyable performance. Nothing really to wow the crowds or get them cheering. Well, yeah, that was just kind of a dumpster fire. But, you know, I kind of expected that going in. So thanks, Dice, for living up to my expectations, I guess. All right, there's that. Hopefully tomorrow is a little bit better. So, while I put my stuff away. Oh, I do have one little bit of an unboxing to show you. I got a package today. So, let me just put my dice in here so I don't lose anything. Okay. So somebody on Bonfire, somebody used Bonfire to release a limited edition sweatshirt. I want to say it was romantically inclined on Instagram. It was somebody on Instagram, and she did like a step back campaign, and I ordered a sweatshirt, and that came today. It came super quickly. Let me see if there's, okay, there's not. Yeah, it just says that it was from Bonfire, so I didn't see, unless it's like in the sweatshirt. But I got a crew neck sweatshirt. But her campaign, I can't remember if I said this, but her campaign was kind of like bring back the step backs, bring back the clinch covers kind of a thing. So I got the pink crew neck. This is what it is. Feeling clinch AF. Look at this.
Like the bump in the road, why not? It can't be road the whole way.
Oh my gosh. Okay. My TV got up to where it was recording. But anyway, so here is the gorgeous sweatshirt. I usually don't get crew neck sweatshirts, but I don't know. I was kind of feeling it. But yeah, it's super pretty pink dress. We got good back muscles. I'm loving it. So yeah, I'm excited. It's like perfect timing to wear it this weekend because we're supposed to start warming up, but it's still supposed to be a little bit chilly. So I just had to share because I'm super excited. And sit down. Okay. And so book-wise. So last night I ended up just kind of going to bed. I did not start the Something About Her, but I did start it today during the Avalanche game. We lost, by the way, but I'm not worried. We're still like way at the tippy top of the standings, and it's fine. Get the slumpiness out now and the bad games out now, because we don't want to be in it come April and when we start the playoff push. So, but anyway, I am about 36% of the way through, and I'm struggling a little bit with this. Here's where my struggle is. So our POV is Dylan, Ezra's little sister. And in the beginning, we kind of get her, we're learning more about her. And she talks about how growing up, she has always had these different personas and personalities. And she's just kind of always been put in situations where she wasn't comfortable enough to just be herself. So, when she was with her father, she tried to play up being the good daughter and be the perfect daughter that sat there quietly when dad would take her to business meetings and not say anything when his skeevy business partners would kind of leer at her. And then, she's the perfect daughter for the kind of daughter that her mom wanted. And then when she was with her socialite friends at school, she would play up the socialite, like, drunk girl. And so she's never really had a chance to really be completely herself. And so she's kind of struggling with, like, when she started taking culinary lessons, she really enjoyed it. And it's something that she really enjoys doing. But sometimes Ezra, she like capitulates to be the perfect little sister to Ezra. And it's breaking my heart, because Dylan, see, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Dylan is just, so in the beginning of the book, oh my gosh, I am like gonna cry here. It's not that sad, I promise. See, this is how easily affected I get. So Dylan, oh god. Okay. So Ezra surprisingly gifts her executive chef position at his third restaurant, Bianca. And she inside she's just like, I'm not ready for it. I play off that I'm the, strong woman chef and I've got moxie. And while she is a good chef and she does have confidence in her chef skills, she does not feel like she is ready personally to take on being an executive chef and having to tell people what to do and having to be firm, because she's still not comfortable in who she is as her true self yet. And she kind of tries to say this, but everybody shows up, everybody's excited for her, and they've got cake and they're celebrating her. Oh my God. And my heart broke because the things that was said, even though she's kind of letting it happen, is kind of manipulation. But it's that weird manipulation where, because she hasn't been open and honest about how she feels she is so broken inside and that she's not a real person inside, or maybe not a real person, but that she talks about how she puts on this persona that like, oh, everything's fine, everything just rolls off my back and I just smile and seem like so affable, and she's not. She is deeply wounded inside. And I can relate to that so much. But anyway, so it's like a weird manipulation where they don't realize that it's manipulation, and she is letting herself be manipulated by their words because she doesn't want to let down her friends and family. So they don't know that it's manipulation, but it is manipulation and I just really wanted her to step up. And I get it that they're trying to push her. They're saying you can do it. Just have self-confidence in yourself. We trust that you can do it. We trust that you can do it. But here's the thing. Sometimes if someone thinks that they cannot do it, it is because they cannot do it, no matter what you see on the outside as other people. So, and maybe that's me projecting a little bit too much with this, and that's why it's really kind of bothering me. But it's a little bit of a struggle, because sometimes if you can't do it, allowing people, whether it's actual manipulation or just you're getting manipulated by their words with them not knowing it, or just wanting to, not let them down, you take something on that you know that you're not ready for, and then you end up hurting yourself and whoever. In this case, it would be her possibly hurting herself and her brother's business, because they would not listen to her that she is not ready. I am sure that that is not the way that this is going to go. But that is where my mind is taking this, and it is, I don't know. I think the problem is that when they saw her terror and fright and her instant reaction of, I'm not ready, I wanted to take over Bianca maybe in a year or two when I had more experience under my belt and I could work in her brain. So she says that part. But in her brain, she's thinking also, so I can become more self-confident in myself to be someone's boss, because you're the boss of the kitchen. And she didn't push her feelings out enough for me. I wanted her to be stronger in her feelings. And then she lets Van goad her into taking the job. And I get sometimes you need to be pushed. And I get that she also came to the decision that this was a once-in-a-lifetime option. If he picks somebody else to be the executive chef, there's no guarantee that it will be hers when she is ready a couple years on the road. So I understand. But sometimes when you are struggling, having people around you say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, when you truly feel like you can't, them constantly saying you can do it, you're so good at this, blah, 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 does not help the situation, because then you sometimes, and maybe this is just me, feel more like a fraud. So, like I said, this is probably just me projecting, but I do wish that she stood up a little bit more and at least had a discussion that she is really struggling. And maybe this will be a way of her opening up to Ezra and opening up to Van. And I don't know how I feel about her and Van paired together yet. Because he is very different, and he says some things about being a good girl and how she's probably not going to take it because she is a good girl. There's nothing wrong with being a good girl. I don't know. I love Dylan. But there are some things that are really bothering me right now that I just need to push through. And this is probably all me. It's probably all me. But nobody saw that she was actually struggling and like stepped back. And I think that's what really bothers me the most, is that she was terrified. And she, like, because we were in her POV, we see how much she's struggling on if she's going to take this or not. And nobody, like, calmly sat her down and actually listened to her fears and why she wasn't so, like, jumping in for joy at this chance. Instead, they were just like, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Instead of actually taking the time to sit down and listen to why she's actually not making the decision and not reacting how they thought she would react. So, yeah. So, yeah. I don't really have much else to say. I don't know. I still don't know what to think about Van. He quote unquote saves her because he charges her car dies and he charges her car for her. He jumps her. And then she's really kind of freaking out because the chefs that are in Bianca's kitchen already are basically ignoring that she exists. And she's tried, she says, I've tried on a bunch of different of my personalities. I've tried being the ball buster. I've tried being super nice. I've tried being friendly. I've tried all these different ways, and they just pretend I don't exist. And Ezra is so blind to everything. I mean, she walks in this kitchen and she's like, this kitchen is an utter filth. I'm surprised there's not a rat problem. And Ezra is completely mind blown. Like, Ezra, you own 4 restaurants. You have been in your other restaurants. You have seen the meticulous cleaning that all of your other restaurants do. How are you that blind when it comes to Bianca? I don't get that. So the fact that he put his sister in this situation, I'm also not happy with as well. And like I said, I get it. She needs to be pushed. She needs to be more self-confident. She needs to work on herself. But there are a lot of little things that I am not liking. So I'm kind of struggling with this. But like I keep saying, it's probably me projecting. But because these are things that would, for myself, push me into a deeper spiral than out. Because sometimes you just have to cry it out and throw a little pity party for yourself and just get those emotions out, and then you can move on. And she kind of is never really given the chance to have the moment to get those emotions out, on top of feeling so utterly alone because nobody actually knows the real her, because she doesn't even know who she is herself. Ugh, Dylan is breaking me. All right. I am going to stop talking here and stop rambling at you again. So we'll see how far I get tonight. I need to take a shower and then I need to go to bed. Tomorrow I need to go grocery shopping on the way home because I don't have a game or any book clubs or anything like that. But I'm hoping I can get it finished tomorrow and we can wrap up this vlog. But, Dylan, man. I was not, I enjoyed the other 3 books. And there were some deeper issues talked about. But I was not expecting Dylan to hit this close to home for me. Oh boy, this is going to be a ride. Let me tell you. This is going to be a ride. Hello. Happy Friday. I am ready for the weekend, although I have a lot of cleaning and organizing I really want to do, so I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done this weekend. But anyway, I'll save that for the next week's vlog. I'm going to quickly wrap up. I finished a book, but let's do our calendar first, and then we'll talk about the book. And I just got out of the shower, and my skin is... I'm so dry, and I'm breaking out, and I'm just having issues overall. So if I look really red, that's why. I just got out of the shower, so it exacerbates everything. But, goodness. So yesterday we did the magic challenge. Did not do very good, but we kind of got a free pass. So let us see what today is. Ooh, gladiators. I'll show you first, and then I'll read it. Look at them. Look at those abdominal muscles there. Hi. Can I help you? You say hi to people? Say hi. Hey. Look. What do you see? Look at this. What do you think? Yeah. She was like playing around on my knee. Okay. She's going to go chew on her plastic toy. Alrighty. The final events of the Tournament of Lords have begun. The first is a hectic free-for-all combat. You and the other contestants are pitted against each other in the Colosseum. So roll for each, a d20 plus attack and then damage. So we will be fighting a fighter, a tiger, and a champion. I want to kill a tiger. Okay. Get my character sheet. That makes me a little bit sad. Even more so because we are a friggin' cat person and we're going to be fighting a tiger. Alright. Anyway. Okay, so we'll do the fighter first. Alright. So our attack is a +4. And that rolled behind my thing here. That is a 15. So we have a 19. Okay, so we hit the fighter. So now we have a d10 for damage. Ooh, an 8. Sweet. Okay, the fighter dies. Ooh, this is deadly. Okay. Alrighty. So then moving on to the tiger. That's a 3. I'm okay with that. So that's a 7. So we miss the tiger. So our defense is a 13. So we take 1 point of damage. I'm okay with not killing the tiger. I'm okay with that. Okay, and then the champion. Ooh, 18. So that is a 22. So we hit the champion. So let us do damage. And that is a 7. And that is 4 more. So the champion dies. Okay. If you did not kill all of the enemies, they finish off each other in this hectic free-for-all combat. Well, it's just the tiger. So the tiger runs free. We're gonna make our own story. The tiger runs free. Okay, so because we killed the fighter and the champion, we earn 1 tournament point for both of those people. So we have, I'm just gonna make a note here, tournament points. We have 2. Okay. So there is that. Before we talk about the book I finished, I do have a little bit of a haul. Or I guess it's not really a haul. It's just, I don't know, whatever. So I pre-ordered, because surprisingly, Claire Kingsley put out her paperback version for her newest book and final book in the Bailey's Brothers series out early, so I was able to pre-order but it didn't show up today, and technically yesterday was the release date. But I got Rewriting the Stars today, book 6 in the Bailey Brothers, And look at this book. This is a thick beast. It is, I was talking to my boss about it, 542 pages. That is so much. And I did see a couple people posted in their stories. I didn't really look very much into it, but a lot of people posted her dedication for David. There we go. Always have, and I always will. Which, if you didn't know, Claire Kingsley lost her husband suddenly, tragically last year, June 2021. And so that was the dedication to her husband. I know I've talked about it before in some of my other vlogs from her newsletters where she's talked about just the grieving process and moving on and all that. And then I did also notice when I was looking at the page count that she has a little letter in the back, Dear Reader. And I just kind of started reading about it, and it starts off kind of talking about her and David and their relationship and just her struggles. I didn't completely read it. I read the first little bit, but I was at work and I was like, I'm starting to cry. I can't cry at work because sometimes my boss and I will just need to vent to each other and we'll be crying, and then a customer will come in and I'll be like, we're fine. We're fine. We're not just here crying. Sorry. What can we do for you? But yeah, so I'm super excited to start this soon. I don't know if I'll get to it this weekend. I need to start the Rake Appreciation book this weekend. So that might be my congratulations on finishing your book club book, even though I'm sure the book club book will be fine. But I definitely will be picking this up really soon. I can't wait. And it's a thick. I might get the ebook as well and read it because it is so thick on my Kindle. But we'll see what I decide to do. And then when I was grocery shopping, also yesterday, the 10th, was the 25th anniversary of the premiere of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. I don't know how much I've talked about it before, but that show was my show growing up. I love Buffy. I've read the comics. I'm a season and a half behind, I think. Or maybe it's 2.5 seasons. Because I don't know if the final season has started yet. I haven't looked at it for a little bit. But anyway, I've read the comics. I watched Angel. I own all of them on DVD except for 2 of the Angel seasons on DVD. Somehow I never got those on DVD. But anyway. So when I was in the store, I saw that there was a 25th anniversary Hollywood, Spotlight book. And I just had to get it. It was like $14, but I didn't look at that. I just picked it up because I was like, sweet, this is cool. And it's not like a magazine with Buffy stuff. It is 100% Buffy stuff. So I was like, I have to get it. I have to get it. It's the 25th anniversary. I have a couple of 17 magazines from when I was growing up, or just the teeny bopper magazines. And I ended up getting rid of and donating all of them except for the couple that has Sarah Michelle Gellar on them because, Buffy is, I don't know if it was my first fandom, but it was the first fandom that I fully dived in 1,000%, and I still, even up till, I haven't done it at my new place, but at least through, I don't know if I've done it since my mom's passed, so at least through 2015, every summer I would rewatch the entire series, season 1 through season 7, interspersing Angel in where it fits. And I haven't rewatched it. I've rewatched certain episodes since then, and then here's the back. And if you were wondering, my ship, I was not an Angel fan. I liked him more in his spin-off series because we got to see him more than just broody. And I like broody people, but honestly, this. Spike and Buffy. Spuffy is my ship. I will go down on that ship to the end of time. Spike, just, I don't know. There's something about his story arc, and he was evil, and fans like to forget that he was evil, but he was evil. But he was morally great, and yeah, I love Spike and Buffy together. But anyway, you know my Buffy love because I rambled on about Buffy before when I found that young adult book. But anyway, so there is that. And then the final thing I'm going to update to end this week is I have finished the Something About Her, I think. So this is the 4th book, Opposites Attract by Rachel Higginson. Oh boy. So, I know my earlier clip I was like crying and I was kind of like freaking out a little bit. Dylan has my heart. I love her so much. And we do find out, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit, so even though this might be kind of spoilery, this is also a trigger. She was raped. She was drugged and raped. And she has not told anybody outside of, I think, a therapist. And we don't see her, in this book, we don't see her meet with her therapist, but she talks about her therapist and how her therapist would, like, something will happen and she'd be like, oh, my therapist would classify that as this. Or my therapist would be so proud of me for pushing myself in this way, kind of a thing. And she eventually tells Van. And Van, I didn't really like Van in the beginning, but I got on board. I got on board with the way that he constantly treated Dylan, and he just always seemed to be there for her. And even though I had an issue with how they were in the beginning, I love the way that they both were able to change their mindset on how they saw the other person, and how once he kind of saw past the facade that she always put on, it was really good. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I might drop it down to 4.5, but as of right now, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because it really, really touched me. And there was one thing where I kept being like, is she gonna tell Ezra? I really would like Ezra to know. I want her to have a talk with Ezra. But she only really ever tells Van. And at the end of the book, there is an author's note about how, and Dylan discusses this a little bit too, how everyone's journey is different. And she is not at the point in her life where she is comfortable to say it out loud, that she was raped, that she was victimized, that she, went through this horrific experience. It's very hard still, and this happened 6 years ago, for her to talk about out loud. And the only reason she really gets prompted to talk about it with Van is, so it happened when she was like in her drunk, crazy, wild days. And it happened, she's going to do the, Van owns a bicycle shop, and every Tuesday, him and a bunch of cyclists get together and they cycle an hour out of town to the best taco place, which I'm sure it's the best tacos ever because you're dead tired from freaking riding a bike that far. But anyway, so one of the people that is there to do the taco ride is the guy that owned the house that she had her rape happened at. It was not him, but he was like the dude hosting the party. And she hadn't seen anybody. She kind of disappeared, and the dude is just like, "Oh, we all thought you died." And she's just like, "Nope, I didn't." And Van can tell that she's shutting down internally, and she starts shaking, and she's really trying not to cry. And Van ends up taking her home, and then in her kind of shocked stupor, she just kind of blurts it out, and in her brain, while she's saying this, she's like, I wasn't expecting to say this or tell him right now, but now that it's out. And I loved I don't know, there was a point where he kept reaching for her and she was flinching away, and she was like, I don't want you to leave. I need you to be here, but I can't have you touch me right now. And then when he knows why, he finally starts to kind of push her just so that she can feel safe with him touching her. And it was beautiful. But anyway, at the end of the book, there is a reader's note about how not all women, maybe not all women come to a point in their lives where they are comfortable talking about it out loud to their friends and their families, because it changes the perception people have of you. And she definitely suffers from guilt, and she takes a lot of the blame upon herself because she was drunk and wild, and she knows how it might be looked at negatively by the police. It is mentioned in the epilogue that her and Van go to the police station and do file a report, but the police officers are like, this is 6 years old, you didn't go get a rape kit done or anything. And she's just like, yeah, I know, she needed to do it for herself, kind of a thing. But I don't know, outside of the fact of her, I don't know, I just like that she was able to gain her power back, but not by shouting it out to the world and dragging this dude down, even though I want this dude caught and I want Van to beat the crap out of him. I liked the statement that she still was able to move past this and find power in herself without having to shout it out to the world, and that Van knows and he will help her through it. I did want Ezra to know, but I also understood why she was going through, why the story was written this way, why he didn't find out. And it was really, really touching the way that it happened. So I really loved it. And I loved the way that Dylan just really was able to and even then, in the end of the book, it wasn't like she magically found all of her self-confidence. She still was second guessing herself at times. And the way that she and Van evolved, and the way that we went on a portion of her healing journey with her really touched me. And I haven't been through something like that, but I have, experienced different kinds of trauma and healing, and it really touched me. And so I'm going to give it 5 stars because Dylan, I don't really keep track of book boyfriends or girl crushes, but I feel like Dylan would be on my girl crush list because I just have so much, I don't know, happiness that she was able to get her HEA, and I'm just so impressed in the kind of person that she is. And I'm talking like she's a real person, but that's how much this book affected me. But anyway, so I finished the series. I binged this entire series this week. So that's fun. But, I kind of had free reign before some book club books. So we're going to end the reading vlog there. Not too bad. I really enjoyed all of the books in this series, so definitely pick them up. I'd have to say, I really liked book 1, but I think this one's my favorite. I do also want to reiterate, we don't really get a full sex scene with them. They do have sex, and she's been celibate since her attack happened, but she ends up getting drunk at, I think, the rehearsal dinner for Killian and Vera from book 1. And her and Van end up sleeping together, but she does not remember it. And just the way that Van handles that situation of her not remembering is really sweet too. So I don't know. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. If you have not read the series, definitely pick it up. It wasn't as steamy as I was hoping it would be, but there was really good tension between everybody throughout, and there are intimate scenes. They're just not, I don't know, as graphic as I'm used to. So it was this weird mix of, I don't know, it almost felt like a weird mix of YA and clean romance, where it happens and it's not closed doors, but it's kind of glistened over. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about all these books and everything. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all my whatevers. Everything's in my link tree in my bio. But yeah, I will see you this Saturday. Because I did finally finish getting my calendar up, and then I have notes for the next month. So I will for the rest of the month and moving forward, hopefully getting videos up on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And there may be a couple of weeks where I might throw in an extra video just for fun, but we'll see what happens. But at the very least, I'm going to try to keep it to 2 videos a week because that's what I have time for right now. But anyway, I'll stop blabbering because I just can't stop at you. But I hope that you had a great reading week as well and have a lot of good things coming up this weekend. And I can't wait to talk to you all soon. Bye.